So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Watch Market Update Show, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is the only public service watch announcement channel available. I mean, you might do all the searching you want about a public service watch announcement channel, and you're not gonna find one, you know? And they probably won't even direct you here either, you know? Porque eso es así, papá. That's how it is, you know? They won't even direct you here, but this is the only public service watch announcement channel out there. You know, the only one. And guys, before we get into other topics that I would like to share with all of you, please, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, don't forget to, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribe to the channel, you may do that too. You know, you're not going to regret it because this is the #1 watch market update show. You know, we're self-proclaimed as the #1. And we have also been chosen by no other than Fudinki. All right, guys? So don't forget to please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about precious metal materials for a moment. Because many things have happened in the last, I would say, the last close to 72 hours, something to that, and I want to start off by talking about palladium, the precious palladium. A troy ounce of that is $1,483. Platinum is at $1,647. See, okay. Silver is at $48 a troy ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, it might be to your amaze, and I'm amazed myself. I trace, I try to track gold, and gold is at $4,032 a troy ounce. And ladies and gentlemen, don't fall asleep on the subject of gold, because gold is going to the moon. Gold is going to the moon. So please, take a look-see at all that precious, metal. I'm not going to talk about rhodium today because rhodium is up there at $7,300 a troy ounce as well, if you need to know that. I want to take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take a moment because sometimes where credit is due, and we must give credit to this man right here. We must give credit to, Joaquin to you, Kino to me. We made a video. Let me take care of this business first. I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Fox, for that super chat. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And this gets me even more stimulated to do you an unbelievable show. So thank you very much, Mr. Fox. Again, thank you very much, Papa. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. We spoke about something. Kino prepared something for us. I would say last Monday, he prepared something, and we told you that gold was outperforming Bitcoin. We told you that. And I honestly, to be honest, I sometimes, I can't believe the things that Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you, he does, this is, on Monday, he said that, that gold is outperforming Bitcoin. And to my amaze, I had a last couple of days. I wasn't gonna do a live stream today. I wasn't. Scout's honor, I wasn't. But Sweet Kid Kino told me, you didn't do one on Friday regarding with this, what happened on Friday. You didn't do one on Saturday. And I wasn't gonna do one today because, I was with my grandchildren, seeing the giraffes and the elephants and the tiger, saber-toothed tiger in the zoo, So as you can see, I'm a little bit, I don't know if this is red, pink, I don't know what color that is, but those monkeys were driving me crazy, So, but I had a moment there, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I want you guys to know something, They said that Bitcoin was immune. You know, they said that Bitcoin was immune. You know, it was immune to, to the stock market. You know, it was immune to, it was recession proof. You know, recession proof. All these things. And the most important one. It was also immune to tariffs. All that good stuff. I want to start by saying that I really, honestly, in my heart, I feel bad for all those people, that they lost something, that they lost some coins out there. But we try to warn you people out there. We warn you on Monday. We warn you on Monday, and the crypto bloodbath happened on Friday. So we gave you we gave you a couple of days, we gave you the subliminal message. Because this channel is monitored. It is monitored by the ICA. If you don't know what the ICA, you play with the letters. ICA. Because the things that this gentleman right here, I'm telling you, today I'm very, very, there's no playing around with this kid. There's no playing around with this kid. I call him a kid. Sweet Kid Kino. He said it on Monday. He said it on Monday. And it's unbelievable. That guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, on Friday, he laid the law down on Friday. And he told, the people over there from China, over there. He told them, I don't know what it was. I don't even know. But I think it was a 90% tariff, 100% tariff to that gentleman over there. Because, this is how these people operate. The people from over there, from Pennsylvania Avenue. That guy. You know who I'm talking about. The guy that's always sitting next to him, the Cuban guy, Marco Rubio, those people that sit down next to this figure from Pennsylvania Avenue. So he laid the law down, to the China people, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you something, this is unbelievable. You're talking about the people were telling you that Bitcoin is recession proof. Recession proof. And it was immune. So correcto. That's correct, Mr. Damon. You help me out with the words. You guys need to cooperate with me because I just finished telling you that this channel, can get some thunder lightning in our TV antenna and we might go off the air. We might go off the air because what we drop here is for real. We told you on Monday that gold was outperforming Bitcoin. And I'm telling you, smart money is staying away from Bitcoin at this moment because this is just the beginning, as Sweet Kid Kino tells me, As Sweet Kid Kino tells me, this is the beginning. The beginning. I'm telling you what you guys, this was the, it was, crypto's worst sell-off in history. Our $19 billion gone. And people, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. When I put that video out, people were mad and telling me that we've been around for 16 years metiendo palo. They were talking about Bitcoin. And it's true. Papi, all that is true. I'm not, listen to me, I'm not saying bad things about what you prefer. You prefer Bitcoin, that's good. You had a good run. 2009 or 2025, I don't know, 16-year run. That's beautiful. A man-made coin, a man-made coin. It was made by the ICA. And if you don't know what the ICA is, that's your problem. That is your problem. I'm not even going to take the luxury to tell you to Google it. I'm not going to tell you who the ICA is. That's not my problem. You understand me? But it's what it is. You had a good run for 16 years. And you have this precious metal that is called gold that has been around since, the Ten Commandments, Moses, that time, over there, they had a cow that was gold, a cow, moo, a cow tipper. And, so you had this man-made implanted by the ICA. And, you know what I'm trying, tú entiendes, papi, Julius, you know what I'm trying to tell you, guys, come on. So you had a good run. And you guys are all mad at me and you're salty and bitter. You're salty and bitter because you think, papi, I'm giving you, papi, I told you on Monday, no sean lambones. I told you on Monday that gold was outperforming Bitcoin. And I asked myself, how did, Kino come up with Bitcoin? Why didn't he compare it to something else? I don't know. You guys help me out. Why didn't he, something in the stock market, that electric car, I don't know, something, Apple. But he picked the right one. And people say, how? They ask me how. And I said, you can't ask me. Everything that I say here is allegedly, because the brains of this channel, the owner of this channel is no other than Sweet Kid Kino. Today we're not laughing. Sweet Kid Kino is the brains of this channel, the brains, and I am the voice. That's all I am. I'm the voice. I give it to you the way it is. You guys don't want to hear it. You guys don't want to hear it. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say, Julius from Miami. They're all getting scars now. A little scar here, a little scar there. Papi, let me explain to you something, Papi. When you hear a company, a financial company like BlackRock, you know who BlackRock is? You probably don't even know who BlackRock is because you skip hopping around through life like rabbits with a lollipop sucker in your mouth. You understand? When you were a young kid, you were skip hopping around with a blow pop, making bubbles. You know what I'm trying to say? This is what you guys are doing. And we're giving you the information. And you know how we're giving you the information? For free. That's right. There's no monthly dues here, to get any perks, for this, for that, to flim-flam you, to fleece you. It's all for you guys, because you guys continue being Shaggy Rogers. Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo had that skinny guy, Shaggy Rogers. He was always whining, Scooby-Doo had more pelotas than Shaggy Rogers. Scooby-Doo had more pelotas. You know what pelotas is? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you. You understand? That's what you guys were doing. You guys were all Shaggy Rogers. That's right. Shaggy Rogers. Not Scooby-Doo. Shaggy Rogers. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This is unbelievable. BlackRock. Let me drink some jungle juice because I'm getting excited. I need some jungle juice in my body. Damon is, he's giving it to me. Damon is unbelievable, If you want to talk about unboxing a watch, a new strap, a new rotor, a new power reserve, you want that kind of stuff, you need to go over there to the UK. And you go over there and you go take a look at the, Hermie the English elf. He'll give it to you over there. I'm recommending, I'm giving him a voice out. You go over there, he'll talk to you about his watches and, the way they break and all that good stuff. You go see Hermie the English elf. He'll talk to you about unboxing a watch, straps, all that good stuff, But here, esto pesado. This is for heavyweights. For heavyweights. BlackRock was dumping Bitcoin like it was a joke. And I asked myself, how does Bitcoin know already? How did Bitcoin, you know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Damon. How did Bitcoin know that they had to dump? And then Bitcoin gives you the sketch, Bitcoin is unbelievable. BlackRock is unbelievable, giving everybody the sketch. This is heavy duty, papi. Esto pa grande, pa pesado. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston. You know what I'm talking about? Mike Tyson. You know what I'm trying to say? Rocky Marciano. Esto pa grande, papi. Esto no pa gilipollas. Esto pa grande, papá. Then BlackRock tells you this often refers to outflows from its Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, due to investors, redemptions. They give you the sketch, they give you that, you understand me? But that's BlackRock, and it's unbelievable, these people from BlackRock, the way they know all these things, It's something that I keep on telling you. They kept on telling all of you out there, they kept on telling you that, Bitcoin was immune to a war, was immune to tariffs, was immune to the stock market, was immune to a government shutdown. I don't even know how many days we haven't shut down, but I think it's something like, no son 13 días aquí, no? 13, ¿verdad? O 12. I think it's between 12 and 13 days shutdown, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, what's coming tomorrow morning with all those precious metals, es para arriba, papi, como el cohete. You understand? People right now are saluting the owl. The Bilderbergers saluting the owl, ladies and gentlemen. I got to give it to you the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody does this. Nobody does this. And they're over there, all these channels, they don't have no more content. They need to continue making a living. And they're charging you people, you lambones and palomos and cow tippers, possum kickers, crumb bums, sandbags, tomato cans, window lickers, charging you membership dues so you can be in their show. But this is the way they're taking you guys. But we don't do that here. We don't do that. We give it to you raw, real raw. We give it to you raw, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see now so many Richard Mille watches. Because let me tell you something. If you don't know this, I'm going to tell you today. The number one person, the number one people, esos palomos, esa gonorrea, the ones that wear those Richard Mille watches, I want you to know this. Get it through your head. Get it through your head. The watch market is dead. The ones that buy all those Richard Mille watches are Bitcoin people or cryptocurrency people. You know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable. If I keep on telling you more things, tú entiendes lo que hay en Luxury Gentleman. Tú eres un hombre brillante. Luxury Gentleman is a very, very brilliant mind. He's there today. He's here. He's hearing me out. And these people are talking cosas de loco. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is on its 12th, 13th day shutdown. Somebody told me here from this channel that the biggest shutdown we've had was 30 plus days, ladies and gentlemen. Papi, hay un arroz con mango. There's a big rice with mango, a big situation going on, Venezuela. That lady won the Nobel Peace Prize. That lady over there. You guys don't know about this, but I will keep on giving it to you for free. You guys don't appreciate me. You guys don't appreciate me. If you would appreciate me, you'd be giving me thumbs up all day, every day. That's what you should be doing, giving me thumbs up all day, every day. Because what I bring to you guys for free is insane. Like crazy, Crazy Eddie from New York would say in Fordham Row, Crazy Eddie, insane, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I'm fed up. I'm fed up and I'm not going to take it any longer. I'm not going to take it any longer. But ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to you how big this situation is. I'm telling you, Richard Mille watches are going to be crazy. They're going to be all over the place, Richard Mille. Ahora se jodió Richard Mille. Ahora se jodió Richard Mille. I'm telling you what it is. This has been the single biggest liquidation event in crypto history with a 19 billion leverage positions getting, wiped out. That is 10 times bigger than the 2022 ATF crash. Papi, ¿qué pasa, papá? Soy yo. Sweet Kid Kino. Bigger than the 2022 22 ATF crash. I don't know what ATF stands for. I don't even know no more what that stands for. But I'm writing what he says. And the people are going crazy, and the people are saying this is just the beginning. The beginning, papi. The beginning. Sell them out. Sell them out. Sell them out. You don't know who Crazy Eddie is? Crazy Eddie. You know, he was all over the boroughs in New York City. You know, selling turntables and radios and VHS and Betamax. It's unbelievable, that Crazy Eddie. From 1984, 83, 82. It was unbelievable. What unbelievable. But ladies and gentlemen, this hurts me very much to tell all of you out there that times are changing. You know, times are changing. And like I told you, it's unbelievable. You cannot say there's something that was implanted. It was implanted there, and people made millions of dollars. You know, millions, billions, all that good stuff. But let me tell you, I can't even use that word because I might get a TV lightning, thunder in my antenna, and it might shut off. And I don't want that to happen. But if you're smart, you'll stay to hear this one for a couple of minutes only, and then you leave. Te vas. Let me explain to you, ladies and gentlemen. I repeat, just minutes before the gentleman listen and learn. This one is very important for you. And you're going to say, but how the frog, the Sweet Kid Kino know this? I told you, Sweet Kid Kino is international. Sweet Kid Kino is international. He salutes the owl. You're not going to believe this. And here it goes. If you're smart, you'll stay to listen to this. You're smart, you'll stay to listen to this. Just minutes before, that guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, just minutes before, he made that big announcement. Listen to this, Mr. Damon. I'm telling you, like James Bond. He's like 007. I told him always, papi, yo te quiero mucho, papá. No me abandones nunca, brother. Tú eres uno de los míos. You're one of mine. He's one of mine, man. He's one of mine. Just minutes before, Pennsylvania gentleman gave that big announcement. A mystery well. Minutes before the gentleman from Pennsylvania Avenue gave the announcement, a mystery well dropped. Listen and learn. And you're going to say, dude, that guy está loco, but what he says, bro, is on the level, bro. Not me, Sweet Kid Kino. Kino está loco, pero loco of so much knowledge that he has here. And he gives it to me. So minutes before the big announcement, the Pennsylvania gentleman, a mystery well. A mystery well. You know what a well is, right? Sometimes when I buy a Rolex, they call me a well. I don't know what that means, but a well is something big. A mystery well dropped. Listen and learn so tomorrow you can, show off with your friends. Bitcoin. A mystery well dropped. Just minutes before this man makes the announcement, on the China tariff, 100%. I think that's what it was. A mystery well dropped $420 million on a short, on Bitcoin. Short on Bitcoin. And ladies and gentlemen, making that mystery, making that mystery well. Papi, listen and learn, man. 17 thumbs up, 36. People watching this live because they want to learn. They want to get bigger. But I only have 17 thumbs up. No comas mierda. No comas mierda. No comas mierda. So, ladies and gentlemen, that well dropped $420 million. Papi, I'm gonna take I'm gonna tell you, Google it. How's that? Google it. $420 million he dropped, in a short, quickly, I'm going to put the 420 on a short on Bitcoin, making ese lambón, making that lambón an even $200 million. One hand to the other. I'm going to say the announcement. What I'm going to do to China. No es un lambón, papi. No es un lambón, papá. Tú lo sabes que no es un lambón, papi. Pero es que tú no eres pendejo. Tú sabes mucho. No se puede ser gilipollas. The mystery well dropped $420 million on a solid bet. On a solid short bet. Papi, nobody's going to bring you this knowledge ever, papi. Nobody. Papi, we're on a different level, papi. We sit down and we drink coffee. We don't even have lunch no more. We only have coffee. And they told me, you ever saw the movie The Falcon and the Snowman? You never saw the movie The Falcon and the Snowman? You don't know about that movie. You need to watch the movie Falcon and the Snowman, so you understand everything and you can start putting the dots together. You put the dots together. Falcon and the Snowman. This is a movie from the, way back in the 80s, way back in those early 80s. Sean Penn was one of them, and I think it was this other guy that did Taps. He was married to, I forgot her name. She did Urban Cowboy, the girl from Urban Cowboy, But you have to watch that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is? To put the whale betted $420,000. I'm going to put $420,000 on the line to pump $200 million in 5 minutos, in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You understand me? The Pennsylvania Avenue goes, this is all like that. The Pennsylvania, you say this, tariffs, the mystery well. It's a mystery well. Nobody knows about the mystery well. Nobody. Nobody. It could be Falcon or the Snowman. You know what I'm saying? Falcon and the Snowman, if you don't know what that means ICA. Falcon and the Snowman is ICA, papi. Falcon and the Snowman is ICA. I make the announcement, minutes, and boom, you put it on the line. You put it there. You put it on the line, okay, we're going to make $200 million. You understand me? ICA is the Falcon. You understand me? You guys don't know about this. You need to watch the movie Falcon and the Snowman. There were two big actors. I know for sure it was Sean Penn, and I forgot the other guy's name. And you don't know about this. And we told you all this information when? Monday. Monday we told you, and you should have seen. Exactly. Place your bets, folks. Because this is rigged. This, if I get the TV tower, thunder lightning, lo jodimos. Se terminó el show. People, you should see the messages that these salty, bitter lambones have left me. Papi, you had a 16-year run, papi. Timothy Hutton, thank you very much, Mr. Donut. Timothy Hutton, that's right. He was Deborah Winger's husband, or the divorce. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm trying to say. It's all rigged. But that's that one, papi. They couldn't hide it. So hold on. They look at the pizarra. They look at the wall, at the TV, at the monitor. Hey, hold on. We got a mystery guy there. He's putting $500 million on short on Bitcoin. I'm greasing up my finger. I'm not doing nothing bad. I'm greasing up my finger. You understand me? And you're gonna tell me, Papi, I told you on Monday, gold is outperforming Bitcoin on Monday. And Friday, you get the crypto bloodbath. The crypto bloodbath. You guys, you guys' hairs should be standing in the back and saying, hold on, we're watching this guy that's funny. He makes it comical. He's kind of a clown. You know, he's this, he's that. He has an imaginary friend. But this motherfucker is telling us the truth. This motherfucker is telling us the truth. That's right. I'm telling you the truth. Google everything, Papi. Google it all. Google the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the guy from Pennsylvania Avenue, you know, it went down from $122,000. It's a club, and we ain't in it, Papi. You know it, Marty. Marty, you know it. You ain't in it. It went from $122,000 to $110,000. Papi, it was a bloodbath. It was bigger than the 2022 crash. Bigger. And now all these experts, you know what they're telling you? I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that. I'm not me. And that's Sweet Kikilo. You know, we'll tell you when we're ready to tell you. But the people out there and all those platforms, you know, and this TikTok, you know, that one over there, Bookface, you know, the Gram, you know, they're telling you to jump ship. They're telling you to jump ship. We're not telling you that. We're still going to give love to the Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin brothers out there, you know, que tienen la fe. Pero, papi, you cannot say there's something that's been around. La época de Matusalén. You know, Matusalén. La época de Matusalén. You cannot say that, you know, that this thing, this, you know, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, you know, that you have to, you know, energy, you spend $78,000 to get a Bitcoin. Papi, I told you the other day everything, and you guys were looking at me. I can feel that you were looking at me like I have 50 heads. Because you guys don't want to hear. You guys want to continue being lied to. You guys want to continue being lied to. Ladies and gentlemen, I went today to shop at Costco. I went to shop today with the wife, you know. We went over there, we get a couple of, you know, you go over there, you go to Costco, and, you know, 6 things, it's like $700, you know. Like $700, you know. It's unbelievable. And I was over there, and I was talking to the gentleman in jewelry section. I said, listen, you had here the gold, and you had here the silver. He says, you know, sir, we ran out of silver, and we ran out of gold. But I'll tell you this much. They were selling here, listen to this, they were selling here 10 ounces of silver, pure silver, 10 ounces for $458. 10 ounces of silver for $458. And ladies and gentlemen, you could have bought 10 ounces. 10 ounces, you're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me. I say I'm going to, half of that. How's that? Half. Some months ago. $458. The poor man's metal is all the way up. All the way up. I said, wow, really? Yeah, it went all the way, it shot up. I said, but I remember it was in 2 and change. He said, not no more. Not no more. But ladies and gentlemen, you need to get prepared to what's coming. Papi, what's coming is, esto está feo, papi. There's too many things happening. You know, I'm going to be honest. You know, that young lady over there from Venezuela, that basically she's the one that's going to take over from that Maduro, you know, from that Plátano Maduro. You know, Plátano Maduro is going to take over. She won the Nobel, I think it's, somebody help me out. Did she win the Nobel Peace Prize? You know? Somebody give me the, you know, tell me if she won it. But she won the Nobel Peace Prize. And the lady said that she wanted to dedicate, and the one that deserved, you know, getting that Nobel. I don't know if that's true or not. But she said that guy over there from Pennsylvania Avenue, you know, because he did something over there with Israel and Hamas. You know, he did that over there. I don't know what that was, because My friend in this channel, his name is Damon, he told me that the only thing that he fixed was the McDonald's and Burger King. But this is what's going on, you know? Papi, I'm telling, she did. Thank you very much, Pete. Gracias, papá. So, you know, too many things are going on. Too many things are going on. And I have been seeing lately that, you know, Marco Rubio, he is like the Pennsylvania guy's pet. Everywhere the Pennsylvania Avenue moves to, Marco Rubio is sitting next to him, you know, trying to win a Happy Meal. That's right. So it's, you know, things are not right, ladies and gentlemen. To you people out there that have big Bitcoin, that's beautiful, man. Congratulations to all of you. And let me tell you something, all of you that were running there for the last 16 years, you know, yeah, on the peace agreement. That's right. That's right, Thurston Harbor the third. You know, you had a good run. I'm not saying that the run is over, but I don't see at this moment the way that all these precious metal materials are behaving. You know, if you see today what the kilo of gold is costing, I told you, I explained to you, Bitcoin, I said a couple of days ago, $124,000, $122,000, and gold, the kilo, $129,000. You know, am I saying that gold is going to be there forever? No, I'm a little bit, you know, I think about it. You know, what can happen? Can it also, you know. It's a big thing. It's a big club, like somebody said, and it's all rigged. It's all rigged because that person, you know, to the people that know about Bitcoin, when they use the word a mystery well, dropped $420 million on short Bitcoin, and he made in 5 minutes $200 million. My question is, do they show the face of the person? Do they show Kino? Do they show Kino? You know, just like George Carlin said, you know, it's a big club and we're not invited and we're not in it. This is why I told you guys this always. You know what this is? This right here is the Bilderbergers. You know, the Bilderbergers, Bohemian Grove. You know, if I get a TV Thunder Lightning, you know what happened? I used the wrong words. You know, they're there. And then they salute. They all stand up and salute the owl. That's how it is because they're here. Skulls and bones, you know, skulls and bones. You know, the Knights Templar, Malta, you know. You don't know about this kind of stuff, papi. Esto es una jodienda. It's all money, papi. God knows whose commission that was. Only God knows who was that $200 million commission on Bitcoin on the short sale. You know, on the short sale. You bet it. You know, you got red and black in la ruleta. You know, red and black. And you got the 00 and the 0 in green. You know, who knows? Boom. He put it on black. $200 million. My question was to all of you out there. Do they have to tell you who that person was? That person that they put $420 million? You know? Do they have to tell you or is callado? No sean pendejo. No sean pendejo. Go ahead, tell me. Do they have to voice it out who it was? It was Kino. They put that bet of $420 million? Nope. It's a secret. Coño, Doc Maker Florida's here. He knows. Papi, ¿qué van a decir ustedes? No coman mierda. They're not going to say a word. Many more short plays coming before the big crash. Well done, Julius Miami. Well done. I'm not saying that. I only read what Julius said. I don't want nobody to get mad at me because, ladies and gentlemen, people were mad at me. You know, how are you going to say the crash? Because they're bitter and salty, you know? You know, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, man, I got to... And maybe Alex knows about this. We will never know. But my friend of mine said to me, I want you to see a couple of short little videos I'm going to send you so you can take a look at this. And let me tell you something. There's no doubt in my mind that the ones que han metido palo duro. Let's forget about the big, the big people. Let's forget about, the Bilderbergers, BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard, State Street. Let's forget about that. That's another story. That's another story. But the ones that made money on this is no lie. It was young kids, 27 years old. Today they're 27, 24, 30, 31, 32, 22, 21. These kids make money. And they show a kid in the video, in a short video, that he's playing with the Bitcoin at that moment on that Friday. I don't know if it was Friday, when it was. I think it was Friday, right? And they show the kid playing because he's seeing that this thing is dropping faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. He's seeing dropping, drop. And he's freaking out. And he's looking for Timmy, Johnny, Bobby, to borrow some money so he could try to control his money that he's losing. And the guy loses un cojón, But he went nuts. And it was too late. And that's it. He lost it. He started. You guys saw this video? Did you guys see this video? It's all over the place. The young kid, you could see, he even had a hat that was backwards, he had like a tape, like Kino. He had like a tape haircut. You got to see him, Damon. Damon, you got to see him. It's a big sketch. And ladies and gentlemen, the kid was going crazy trying to borrow money to cover the bet. You understand me? Papi, tú una jodienda, mi hermano. What you guys get from me for free, you guys should be embarrassed, man. It's unbelievable. It's on the gram. It's on Talk. It's on Talk, on the gram. I can't be saying that. Help me out with the names. They're everywhere, and the kid, they're going crazy. They wanted to hang themselves. Papi, this has been big. Papi, this has been big. They might tell you, the ones that are bitter and salty, that it wasn't. It was big. It was monster. And you're going to see a lot of Richard. Let me tell you, I kept on telling you that Richard Mille watches are dead in water. Papi, se ahogaron, papi. Esto está allá. They're floating all over the place, with the Supreme, backpacks floating all over the Miami River, all over. All those kids that live in Brickell, they're in computer techs, they're techs. Se jodieron, papi, se jodieron. Se viró al revés, floating. I'm telling you, they were floating all over the place, the Miami River. They were just floating around there, floating. It's been the biggest thing since 2022. Esto es algo serio, ladies and gentlemen, what I give you guys, man. What I give you guys. And they tell me, they said, bro, let me tell you this. They have told me this. They have told, I said it wrong. They have told Sweet Kid Kino this. They have told them, strong jungle juice, papi, strong jungle juice. They have told Sweet Kid Kino that what we bring is unbelievable. That we make it cute and funny, but they say what we bring to you guys for free. That they don't know. They don't know when they open the floodgates. When they open the floodgates on us, papi, we go to the moon too. Because we got you guys smart. Those people, you don't understand, those Bitcoin fellas, they come to my channel. They come to argue. And you know what I do to them? You know what I do to them? I give them the logo. And they go nuts. I just do this to them. That's what I do to them. That's all. That's all. Because I'm not telling them nothing. I'm telling them the logo. And that's it. You know what I'm trying to say, Wicked. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Donor. And the Noah's Ark, papi. Ahí van a montar los elefantes, los leones, la jirafa, la vaca. Everybody. And they told us that what we bring, that we have single-handedly rattled, dismantled, rattled and dismantled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market all by ourselves. All by ourselves. That's what we've done. And they can't understand it. Why are we doing this? Because we like to do it. Because we're stupid like that. you know, because we're stupid like that. You know, this is how it is. And you got all those people over there still. You know those two guys over there from Beverly Hills, the two brothers, the night at the Roxbury. You know, one is tall, one is short, one is dumb, one is, you know, introverted, you know, and their sidekick, Toupee Wigman, they're over there. Papi, listen to me. I got a watch market update dedicated to them. You know, feet happy over there, you know. They hang out with Toupee Wigman. And these people don't get embarrassed that there's no money out there no more. Listen to me. Listen to me. You know, every day, the owners of the world, they take something else from us, you know? They took off the SBA loans, they took the PPP loans, they took the government grants, stimulus checks, unemployment protection checks for your employees, they took it away, you know? Now they're going into, you know, Bitcoin, and, you know, it's it. That's it, you know? Yeah, you know, that's it. We're going to flip this over, and they're going to keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on. And now they're making the new hero, the gold, pure gold. No sean lambones. La jugada está ahí, papi. La jugada está ahí. La jugada está ahí is there. No matter what they tell you, is there. You know? And, you know, you got people out there that they're very angry. They're very, very angry. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. If you haven't seen those videos of those young kids going bananas, papi, I saw a kid there that no matter how much you try to fake it, to stage it, you know when something is staged, and you know when something ya is like, you know, you're disturbed, you know? Because people, papi, la gente perdieron las nargas. You know what nargas is? They lost their ASS, you know, they lost the ASS, you know, they lost it. And this is it, papi. You know, you have to understand that, you know, you can seize a Bitcoin if you're doing some kind of, you know, illegal stuff. You know, you can seize it. You know, you're doing fraud. You're doing lavando dinero, washing money. They can take your Bitcoin away like that, papi, man, nada. But you can't take away gold. You know, you can't take gold. You know, eso se terminó. That was in the 1930s and the 1970s, not today. And you want me to tell you something else, because maybe you guys don't know this. But I'm going to tell you because you need to know. And it's something so simple. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know that gold is untraceable. You know, gold is untraceable, man. That's why Bobby Menendez from New Jersey, you know, Bob Menendez from New Jersey, over there, from the other side of the bridge, you know, from the Hudson River, you know, that kind of stuff over there. You know, New Jersey, un corrupto, un dañado, you know, bolachurre. You know, they got him and his wife, you know, they got involved, you know, dos criminales that were stacking up, you know, man, they were stacking up on those ounces, man. They were like stacked up, you know, I think it was 10 ounces a bar, you know, it was unbelievable. And he knew something too. They were all getting ready, but somebody, you know, he crossed the line on somebody, and, you know, somebody snitched, you know, and they snitched out the little rat, you know. But this is how it is. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that the mystery well, a couple of minutes, you know, before that guy, you know, from Pennsylvania Avenue, okay, I'm going to make now the speech. I'm going to say that, you know, we're mad at that guy over there for Xinjiang, you know, from China, and we're going to give him 100% tariff. And right now, when I say tariff, you put 420 on short, on Bitcoin, on short 49 short. Boom. Yeah. Papi, you know, the people, esta gente tan loco. Tan loco. I'm just saying that, you know, listen, for you to be concentrating yourself on this, it's not the moment. Don't let those people tell you that this is more important than that, you know, than gold, Bitcoin, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. Papi, BlackRock went like this. Cash me out. BlackRock went like this. Cash me out. And then BlackRock tells you, no, we got to do this because, our client investors, blah, we have to do this. No coman mierda. No coman mierda. Sell. Sell. Más nada, papi. Más nada. Eso es una mafia. Eso es una mafia. You got the Genovese family and you got the Gambino. Ivy League, Ivy League is Genovese. Genovese is Ivy League. Ivy League, delincuente matón, Gambino. You don't know about that, Bobby. You don't know about that kind of stuff, Let me tell you, man, that crypto bloodbath wiped out billions of dollars. Wiped out billions, but you had a mystery well that he knew the bet was on short Bitcoin. 420, Papi. You don't know about that kind of stuff, man. Papi, this is cruel. It's a cruel world what's happening out there. And I'm telling you this much, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saving you guys from spending your shekels, your pounds, pounds, whatever you call that, pounds, plata, dinero, cuarto, chavo, I've been giving it all to you for free, ladies and gentlemen. And those people, they say, Juan and Kino, you guys are a bunch of lambones because you do that for free. And you are giving those people free knowledge. You have awoken the masses. And I say, stop right there. And they say, why? That's what I wanted to do. Wake up the masses. That's all. That's all. Because you guys have been taking away their wife's 401k, their children's tuition money, their dental insurance, for their kids' bracelets. You've been taking them away, because these guys have an addiction. And you know what addiction they have? They have this addiction. Y esto es mierda. Esto es mierda, papi. Here in Miami, there was a commercial. It was a commercial with a pair, with a pair of Cubans, a pair of Latinos. And one of the guys was saying in the Spanish channel, soap opera, he would say, aquí lo que vale es el cash. He would say, the only thing that matters is just cash. And it's true. Aquí lo que importa es el cash. Aquí lo que importa es el cash. Because with cash, you can buy gold, you can buy, Bitcoin if you want to buy Bitcoin, whatever your preference is. You know what I'm trying to say. You can't trust those people. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have heard that all of them now are like this. These people still want to continue. If you see those chats that I belong to, gracias, Zoidi, gracias. If you see those chats that I belong to, they say, the watch costs $60,000 and you can pay me with Bitcoin. Esto se jodió, papi. Papi, esto se jodió. I'm telling you, the Wolfman is coming, Dracula's coming in a couple of weeks. And then, that turkey guy is coming. And then the guy, the chubby guy with the red and white suit, from the North Pole, he's coming. Esto se jodió. This is coming a bad time for these people. This has come in a bad time for these people. Se jodió. Se jodió, papi. Se jodieron. They're like this. That guy, what's his name? The guy from Fish Tank. Fish Tank, those people. That motherfrogger has been injecting all of you, because he's a low level. He's a low level, cockroach. He's a low level cockroach. He's not there with BlackRock. Se lo cepillan. He's a slave. He's a puppet. That guy, the guy that wears red straps, 2 watches in his hand. You know what I'm saying? He feo con cojones. Feo. He was telling you people there, keep on buying Bitcoin. Keep on buying Bitcoin. Keep on buying. Boom, 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 boom. Like pumping. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy. That guy, you know who it is, Dick. And you know who it is, Doc. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me, Doc. You know? That guy. Yeah, that guy. You know? You know what I'm trying to say. Come on. You can't talk to me about, you cannot put in this equation, boxing black eyes. You can't put that in that equation, boxing black eye. Ese tipo es una gonorrea. Es una gonorrea. Exactamente. Eso es una gonorrea. But you guys really believe that that guy is something big? Boxing black eye. Ese tipo es una churra. Una churra. Una churra. A ese tipo, that guy, they got to take him to Africa. People over there in Africa, in those countries. Let me tell you something, guys, because you guys need to hear these things. The people over there in those countries where they live a very, very, very humble life. They don't have much. They can't even take a bath. They can't even wash their hair. And you know what they do? They get one of those ox. Those ox? Those ox. I don't know. It's like a cow, like a bull, but it's like an ox, And those people don't have water. Those people don't have water to wash their hair or take a bath. And they wait for the ox to go take a leak. A leak, pee-pee, a piss. And they put their head under, the ox's thing, and they wash their hair. With the ox's, el meao, the piss, the urine. Papa, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Usted lo que sabe es comer moco. It's unbelievable, man. I have to tell these people these things. I didn't say nothing bad. I'm just telling you the way they live. And you guys are skip hopping around through life like bunny rabbits thinking that deputy boxing black eyes is like one of them. Are you kidding me? It's a cockroach. He's an infection in the corner with pus. You know what I'm saying? Urine shampoo. Thank you, Mr. Donald. Help me out. Urine shampoo, papi. They wash their hair. They wait for the ox. And when the ox, you know how long they take a piss? The ox? A couple of minutes. And that's the water they use. Papi, no coma mierda. They're not like us. They're not like us. You give it away, 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 give it away. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, give it away, give it away. That's it. Give it away, give it away. No, those people shampoo were urine shampoo. You don't know about this. This is the #1 watch market update show in the world, ladies and gentlemen. The #1 watch market update show in the world. And I do it for free. We're not going to be talking about unboxing a watch here. We're not. The closest you're gonna get from me is, hey, I went to a country and I got this watch, they had it for me. That's it. I'm not gonna be talking about the Aventi. Vaya pa'l carajo, Aventi. Aventi did this to everybody already. Long story. Gang, finito. No sigan con la misma porquería. No sigan con la misma porquería, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I was going to give you a watch market update, but, I've been running my mouth for an hour already, and I'm going to give you a watch market, I don't know, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, because I have to tell you this, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. Can somebody tell me right now what is the, I already gave you the price, but can somebody look somewhere in one of those, bullies, what's the price? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, Damon. You know what I'm saying. Gold is the sun, silver is the moon. Silver is the white stuff. Silver is the white stuff. I'm telling you, thank you, Pete. You do that, Pete. Tú eres uno de los míos, Pete. Tú eres uno de los míos. I have to talk to you guys. You cannot keep on thinking that this is important. This is nothing. You make the money, and then you get this. You make the money, and then you buy the gold red fast car. You make the money, and then you buy the condominium. But you can't be thinking about this. No sean lambones. Wow. $50.82, Thurston? Are you for real? 50.92. Wow. Wow. Papi, it's going to take off. It's going to take off. See? Wow. Gracias, pa. They said silver's at $50, $50 and something. Oh my God. This is just going to go to the moon, man. Tomorrow's going to be the bloodbath again. I'm telling you, and let me tell you, wow, 4,054. Woof. And let me tell you guys, I want you guys to help me out with a subject that I need to know for tomorrow when I have my espresso with one of those Meshuggahs that I have to see tomorrow. Is this shut down? Do you see it, that tomorrow is going to open up, or will it continue to be shut down? Because let me tell you, man, the dollar already is, the dollar again. A dollar today buys you 2 pennies. A dollar buys you 2 pennies today, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot, I'm telling you, I went to Costco today, and I'm telling you, this is no lie. I must have bought, 6 to 10 things, items, and we spend it there, and I'm telling you, Scout's honor, and we must have spent, I think it was $300 we spend it, you spend it like $300. Papi, there's no money out there. There's people out there that are suffering, man. There's people out there that are having a bad time. Stay shut down. Wow, you think it's going to stay shut down? And do you see it, passing this week, another week? The shutdown, the government shutdown? Because this influenced a lot of things. This thing, esto sigue subiendo para arriba. Esto sigue subiendo para arriba. This is going to continue. Columbus Day, wow. Just got through washing my car, Dr. Evil. Okay. I mean, I hope you guys learned something from this today, and that I try to always make it easy for you guys so you guys could relax and laugh and have a good time. But ladies and gentlemen, when I'm telling you this I am telling you, take it to heart. Don't worry about this, man. Don't worry. You should be worrying that it's going to keep on dropping. What you need to worry is to make money so you can make money so you can spread it around in other things. Porque esto está jodido, papi. Esto está jodido. You're going to see Richard Mille watches in the Miami River floating. Richard Mille watches. Richard Mille watches, you will see them floating and go, man, that guy said it, man. That guy says it laughing and kidding around and, saluting the owl, but he's telling you what it is. Wow. There it is. Wow. Did you hear what Pete just finished saying? Pete, watch collector. Read what he says. Papi, es increíble, Listen to me, man. I know people here that have been working for 60 years of their life, and they couldn't be attended for certain things health-wise. And a person that came the other day gets more than them. I'm just telling you that. I'm not bad-mouthing none of these people. I'm not bad-mouthing. I'm just telling you what it is. But you guys are telling me Columbus Day. I don't know, man. Esto está feo. Look, this is, esto está color de hormiga, papá. Esto está color de hormiga. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this one more time so you guys won't forget about it and you sleep on it and you say, no, you're wrong, bro. There was a guy there from Pennsylvania Avenue before he made the speech. Before the Pennsylvania guy made the speech, there was there was this guy, unbelievable. There was this mystery well, a mystery well. Don't forget this, Papi. This is the punchline of this watch market update show was the mystery well. The mystery well. I'm going to make the speech. Put everything on black. 420 million. Okay? Put 420. Put 420 million. Papi, esos son números locos. Those are crazy numbers. $420 million on the short Bitcoin to make, you're going to make 200 million quickly, okay? As soon as the ding, 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 ding is in. And then call BlackRock and told BlackRock to keep on cashing in. Told BlackRock to keep on cashing. Sell. Sell them out. You remember what's his name? Don Aykroyd, in trading places with, that guy, the other guy, Roxanne, you don't have to be, what I'm saying? That movie, Trading Places, it's sell them out, citrus, Papi, tú una jodienda, papi. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is. Exactly, Eddie Murphy on Trading Places, with Don Aykroyd. And they made him a poor guy. And they were betting $1 to see who can win. The two brothers, But then, Eddie Murphy and that guy, Dan Aykroyd, they got together and they got him. They got him deep. They got him deep. And this is what it is, Papi. When these people in the movie put you something down, you need to read between the lines so you can see the whole thing. I'm going to say one more thing to you guys that I have to tell you before I leave. And it's very important for you guys to hear it. I feel very bad for the passing and the assassination of Mr. Charlie Kirk, But if you want to see frame by frame, the exact thing that happened to Charlie Kirk, you're going to say today, this one is out of his rocks. This one is out of his rocks. You take a movie and you put it on, and when you see the movie, you're going to remember me always. The name of the movie is called Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes. Ojos de culebra. Snake Eyes. And you're going to see everything there. That's all I got to tell you. They're not like us. They're not like us. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away. It's the way it is. You go see Snake Eyes so you can see what it is. Listen, I'm telling you, I got to be careful, Papa. You're right. Me van a tener un soplazo. Me lo van a tirar. But I'm telling you, you need to go see Snake Eyes. You see Snake Eyes, and you start watching it, and you go, coño. I told you in many different ways, and today, people already talking about what I told you. I told you that in 1961, it was the farewell speech of Dwight Eisenhower, and he turned it over to the young kid. And exactly, Nicolas Cage. That's the guy. You need to watch it, and you're going to go, oh, mamacita mia. Oh, mamacita mia. You watch it, Papi. Give it away, give it away, give it away. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But let me you guys, I'm not trying to say anything negative of Mr. Charlie Kirk. May God have him in heaven where he belongs. But you just take a look at it, and you study things. I'm telling you, you just need to look at things so you can understand things the way they are. Papi, not everything that you're seeing out there is the way it seems. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. I told you some time ago, 4 or 5 months ago, I told you that boxer, they were going to tell him, listen, we're going to tell you one time only. Be quiet. Don't talk no more. Don't talk about the billions of dollars you have. Shh, cállate la boca. Now that 48-year-old man that was woofing his mouth 6 months ago, he wants to look for a fight. You know why he wants to look for a fight? You know why? Because those people, with a push of a button, they get all the money back. Hey, tú te quedas como un lambón. You don't know about that kind of stuff, Papi. You don't know about that kind of stuff. That's all I got to tell you. You don't know about that kind of stuff. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what it is. These some of you want to. Some of you are more in tune, out of tune, trying to get tuned. Listen, and some of us need to get corrected, and a lot of people out there getting corrected. A lot of people out there getting corrected. It's a small little circle, and me and you are not in that circle, man. We're not in that circle, Papi. We're not in that circle. Hey, I'm telling you, you should be smart enough to think that somebody had the guts to put something, $500 million on something that it was going kaput. It was going belly up. but he put it on short. How? How did you put it on short, papi? How do you know to put this in short? When you got that kid that I told you, when you look at it in the internet, the way he smashes the computer, the way he screams, you can hear the pain in his heart. Se jodió, papi. Se jodió. And se jodió. And you see him calling other friends, please, lend me this so I can control this. Papi, te jodiste. Perdiste las nalgas. You know it. You know it, Mr. Premium. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Premium. Some of them are going to understand what I'm saying, and some of them are going to think that I'm a mashuganer. And that's fine. That's part of the show. I need some people to think I'm a mashuganer. That's the way the show works. A mashuganer? No, he's not a mashuganer. And probably we have 12 that think I'm a mashuganer, and we got 6 they say, no, he's not a mashuganer. The dollar is dead. And tomorrow morning, today, I say today because at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm already washing my face, in the other side of the house so I don't wake up the wife, and then I sit down, I come to my office and I look, papi, esto está jodido, papá. No sean gilipollas. No sean gilipollas. And remember, we have a lot of Johnny Brascos in this channel. You know what a Johnny Brasco is? We have a lot of Johnny Brascos in this channel. They come, they see, they throw their bomb. They throw the bomb. They throw the bomb means spam. You know what spam is? Not the spam that we ate. Not the spam that I ate. They throw spam. Spam, to slow down. To slow down. To slow down the channel. Papi, this channel was going all the way to the moon. It's been slowed down. They put it on downshift on 4th gear. Y mira, enclochando. This is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this show and you guys learned something. I always try to bring something solid to the table. I really do. Try to bring something solid to you guys. I think I did, guys. If you guys are smart, you guys are going to say, man, this guy told us on Monday. He told us that gold was outperforming. On Monday, I told you that gold was outperforming Bitcoin. You might think that I belong to Falcon and the Snowman, Timothy Hutton and Sean Penn in the movie Falcon and the Snowman, Falcon and the Snowman, because they were too deep already. They were too deep. They were too deep. They were with the ICA, They were with the ICA, ladies and gentlemen. They were taking little cameras and taking a couple of shots. But they were watching them and they were getting paid. They were paying them big, large. Like the guy that got paid $200 million. Now, I say this always. Who was getting paid those $200 million? Somebody was getting their commission. That's a commission check right there. That's a commission check. Who was it? Who was it? Tell me who it was. Was it the DuPonts? Was it Johnson & Johnson? You know what I'm saying? Who was it? I don't know. Who was it? Was it Colgate? Was it Crest? Who was it? Fluorine, Fluorine. Don't swallow fluorine ever. Don't you ever swallow fluorine. Don't do it. And, when you try to wash your teeth, take a little bit of the paste. That's all. You don't need too much. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, first of all, I'm going to salute you this way today because they deserve this, these people. And then I'm going to salute you. All right, guys? I hope you enjoyed this Watch Market Update show and you learned something. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I mean this. In all fairness, please don't forget, to give me a thumbs up in this channel. Don't forget that. If you don't want to subscribe to the channel, that's fine. But help this channel grow. We had a moment here, over 40 people, and we only have 26 thumbs up. All right, guys? Mucho respeto. Lots of respect to all of you. And don't forget to take care and brush your hair. Peace out, guys. Lo quiero mucho. Bendiciones a todos. Stay right. Stay cool, guys. Stay cool.